ladies and gentlemen, how you doing today? My name is Bilify, and today we are here to counter a glove. Which glove is that? Why, of course it's the retro glove. These are going to be the awesome people that are going to be helping us out today to figure out what counters what. We have Bio, we have Just a Person on the Web, Elia, hopefully I said your name right, we have Andrew, and we have Carl, and then there's also one more person joining us, well, I think Bonnie. Let's go ahead and let's get into it. Alrighty, so for our first counter here, we're going to have Diamond, Custom, and Mega Rock. All the rocks are going to be able to save you from Retro itself. For some reason, the video file corrupted, and the only clip I don't have is of the rocks, but all three of the rocks are going to keep you 100% safe as long as you're in rock form, so I'm going to give them a golden trophy tag. Z's is an absolute counter. Give this the golden trophy. All three attacks cannot touch a Z user. The Spring Glove will counter 2 out of the 3 abilities if you're up close and fighting. It will not counter the Hammer hit. It will counter the Rocket and the Bomb stuff because they don't have that big of AoEs. The Hammer hit has a massive AoE, so Spring will not counter that, so it's a 2 out of 3. I don't know how to rate it. You can always use Ghost to go invisible and go up and slap them, but if they're going to use their Bomb ability or the Hammer ability, they can still hit you, so be aware. I wouldn't recommend Ghost. You can use Recall, Thanos, and Adios to save you from falling off the edge, but we're going to be looking for some more offensive and defensive abilities instead of just pure defense, so these work, but I like better. A note with stun is that if they've been stunned, they can still use their ability, so you're not safe, they can still hammer you. I would not use stun. So Fort's pretty funny because they can't shoot or blow anything up through it, so the RPG is fully nerfed by Fort. They can blow up their bomb and hop over it, and then they can use the hammer as AoE, so Fort's not a counter, it's just funny. You can definitely use Magnet after you get hit, blown up, whatever. You can use Magnet right away. There's no delay, there's no time delay, nothing like that. You can use it and go right back to the person that hit you or somebody else. It can either save you or go for offensive, so I love Magnet as a counter for a trophied counter as well. So Pusher's interesting because it will block a rocket or a bomb hit, but it's not really necessarily going to get them off the edge, so I wouldn't really recommend it for offensive. It works, but there's a lot better. So Space is a awesome counter because as soon as they go to use anything, use your space ability, go way up in the sky, you can't be hit by any of the abilities, and then you can come down and get that slap on them. I'm giving Space the trophied counter. So Dream is 100% skill-based. You can avoid the hits from these users. The one thing that's going to be challenging is going to be the hammer hit. If you know and can time it well, you can avoid that AoE, but it has such a large AoE, it can be hard to time. So Dream is a counter for 2 out of the 3 every single time, but that last one, it really depends on combat skill. Golden, I already tested, will protect you against all 3 phases, so there's no need to worry while using Golden. This is a pure counter. Cheeky does its cheeky thing where it takes like no knockback, so all 3 of the hits that go against a Cheeky do absolutely nothing. So I can absolutely recommend Cheeky for a full counter because no matter what ability they use, Slap, Bomb, Rocket Launcher, or Hammer, you're not taking that much knockback. So Replica is absolutely a counter. They cannot be hit by any of the abilities. So Bomb, they can't be touched with. They go to use the Rocket Launcher, they can't be touched with. And if they go to use the Hammer, they cannot be hit. The rocket exploded right next to it, but nothing happens to the Replica clone itself. Nothing is going to happen to that Replica clone. So Replica is definitely a W counter. Defense is going to protect you from 2 out of the 3, maybe even 1 out of the 3. I feel like once you get to a lower phase of defense, the bomb use is going to be able to work pretty well. So out of the big one here, if they go to use Rocket Launcher, nothing's going to happen to you unless you're right up against the wall. The bomb, you can stand a distance and be a-okay. Now the one thing that's going to affect you is going to be hammer. So can I recommend defense? No, I don't like that they can just swap over to a hammer real fast and beat you out of it. So now reverse. Which abilities can you reverse? Alright, so the bomb. Oh, reverse. I just made a poll about this. I'm going to have to add that. And then the hammer. Yep, you get hit by the hammer. Wow, you're going to get hit by all 3 abilities here. Yep, all 3 abilities. So base slap. Okay, the only thing it blocks is base slap. Other than that, don't use reverse. So it's rare. There's only, I think this is the 17th glove that bypasses reverse. Pretty cool. So now Shukuchi. You could do it beforehand. That always works, no matter if they're using their RPG ability or not. So because you can't use Shukuchi's ability during the ragdoll phase, I would not consider this a counter. You could always use Duelist to save yourself from knockback, but they're going to have such a glove advantage that I would not recommend fighting them in the arena. So if you see yourself about to get hit, just use the ability and it'll save yourself from getting ragdolled off the edge if it can drag somebody into it. So I like Duelist for that specific reason. You could use Woah, honestly. They're going to be doing up close combat besides the rocket launcher. It's pretty hard to hit the rocket launcher, I'm not going to lie. So using Woah, you can absolutely, if you see them getting close to you or getting ready to use an ability, use Woah to kind of send them back. So if you see them getting ready to use their ability, send them back. you're still gonna get hit, but you're gonna create a distance, and that's only by the hammer you're gonna get hit by. You're not gonna get hit by the bomb or nothing. Just the hammer is gonna be able to hit you with AoE, but as soon as you use that Woah, you should be A-okay. So like I said before, Adios, Recall, Thanos are all gonna save you from the edge, but we're looking for offensive and defensive. Can you use blocked and save yourself from getting hit by all the abilities? Nope, does not save you from any of them. I can already tell you right now, yep, 0 for 2 right now, 0 for 3. This is gonna be the same thing for buddies. Yep. Locked in buddies, you are not gonna want to use. Rocky's a deterrent. If you see them coming near you, just chuck a rock at them, you know? Defensive wise, anything like that, it's not really viable, so don't use Rocky. Same thing for Coil in a way, but I wouldn't use it. Balloony can be an awesome counter to this because all you need is to create just a tad bit of distance. And if they're gonna be using their hammer for the AoE, that's gonna be the most dangerous part. But as soon as you see them, if you're battling them, just jump up in the air. Guess what? They can't shoot the bazooka at you. And the hammer's pretty tough to hit. Even if you get hit by the bomb, which is the quickest ability, you still have time to dodge it. And if you get hit by the hammer, just pop your balloons. And you should be pretty good to come back. And then while they're down there trying to use their abilities and whatnot, just hover above them, drop on them, and then slap them. And you should be good to go. I love Balloony as a counter. That was like the perfect time to turn to get hit in the face with that rocket. Phantom is like Ghost, same thing. If you are going to be invisible, you can sneak up to them, you can get to them pretty quick, but if they're using bomb, if they're going to use their hammer, it's not really recommended. You can use your blink and then get right next to them and they don't even know where you're going to be at. You can come up and surprise them. And surprise. Yes, I like Phantom, but you have to be aware of that hammer AoE. Track is going to be a deterrent glove. If you see them coming after you, just use track. They might end their search for you. Tableflip is going to be a counter. No matter what ability they're using, you can always chuck a table at them to create distance from you and probably kill them because Tableflip has such a hard hit. Just go ahead and chuck your table and you should be able to create that distance no matter where they're at. No matter what ability they're using, hammer, bomb, nothing. They can of course jump over your table flip while using bomb, but the odds of them timing that are so incredibly slim. And shield doesn't protect against anything, so I'm not expecting much from shield. Yeah, of course. Very common shield L. The only thing shield's gonna protect you from is the base slap. That is it. Ping pong is gonna be exactly like table flip and track. It's a deterrent glove that has some power to it and it will stop people from really chasing you. It's a good glove to use as a deterrent glove. Now, can they attack a baller? Okay, so no, they can't touch any bit of the baller. So baller is the exact same thing as Replica. They cannot touch a baller. They're gonna have to walk up and slap it. So baller could be an interesting counter that I do like and recommend. Slicer is gonna be another perfect deterrent glove, just like the ping pong glove or the track glove. They're gonna be awesome at doing a lot of knockback, nothing defensive wise. Excavator should, in theory, be able to avoid all 3 ability hits. You just have to be pretty fast. So as soon as you see them going to use any bit of their ability, just go underground. Guess what? You can't be hit. Doesn't matter if it's the hammer, does not matter what it is, it shall protect you. So Excavator is going to be a trophied counter because it can do offensive and it's a perfect defense. Nothing can touch it when you use your ability. So with God's Hand, can they use their abilities during time stop? So they can still use their abilities during time stop. God's Hand's not a counter. You just need to be aware that they can use their abilities during. This is going to go for all the one-shots like God's Hand, the Flex, Air, and Overkill. You can definitely win the slaps, but if they're going to be using all of their abilities, they're going to be quite hard to catch. So just keep that in mind. Now, Thor, you can keep them at distance. This is like a better Woah, so you can definitely keep them at distance with this ability. If you see them coming near you, just pop your Thor ability and create distance away. Even if they're shooting something at you, or if they're going to go use their ragdoll, or if they're going to use the hammer, you can use this as like a tab glitch. So as soon as they go to use the hammer, you can avoid that knockback with the Thor ability, which can work. So Thor can keep them distance, but they get their ability back so fast that I honestly really wouldn't even use Thor because once you use your ability, it takes quite a bit for it to get back. So I don't know if I can really recommend it. So if you're going to use Ultra Instinct, the only thing that it's going to have a 50% dodge rate against is the base slap. It's not going to do anything against the knockback. Don't use Ultra Instinct. Acrobat could be interesting. It'll definitely counter 2 of the 3 if you're fast enough, but I don't think you're going to be able to get away from a hammer usage. So if you're in the middle of a battle, fighting, slapping, doing whatever, just use your ability, roll out of the way. Now, if they're gonna go use the bomb or anything, you could still kind of like ragdoll, but they use their ability so fast, it's gonna be so incredibly hard for you to time that it's pretty much not gonna be worth it because you're gonna be slapping and then you're gonna try to roll away. The hammer, if you see them start to use their ability like that, use it as fast as possible towards the middle. You're still gonna get hit, but you're not gonna be right over here, so it's pretty good to try to do that. If you time it right, 100% bus works, but I'm looking for better. Phase, the glove that saves you from legit everything. Yep, don't get hit by the bomb, don't get hit by the hammer, and you're not gonna get hit by a rocket launcher. I got hit, but the phase was okay. Definitely use phase if you're trying to stay safe. Warp could work. I wouldn't recommend warp, but it does work. If you're in the middle of a battle, if you've already slapped them, doesn't matter what they use, if they hit you, you can always warp right back to them. So warp works in that sense, because they're not going to be able to ever do anything ridiculous against you. Nothing that is going to make you fly off really crazy to where you would never be able to use warp if you slap them prior. But again, you have to slap them prior, so I don't recommend warp for that. The bomb, bubble, jet, shard, and bob gloves are massive deterrents. Moon, I don't think it's going to protect you the way you want it to. I think it can definitely dodge 2 out of the 3, but since you have such a slow drop down, it's not worth it because it can be so easily timed. For that, I don't recommend Moon. I would definitely recommend using Spring over Moon. Now, Jupiter is going to be a massive counter. This is exactly like Cheeky, where you're going to take reduced knockback from every bit of this ability that they're going to try to use against you. With the Jupiter, you don't go far with Hammer. You use the rocket launcher, you're not going to go that far. And with Bomb, guess what? You're not going to go that far. That is just the good thing with Jupiter. So we can definitely recommend to use Jupiter for that knockback reduction. Same exact thing with Cheeky. The Hybrid's yellow mode is exactly like Jupiter, so I can recommend Hybrid for that. Now, Slapple. Can you be in a tree and avoid a Hammer AoE? Alright, so if they're up in a tree... Yep, now if they jump... Yes, okay, so it's hard to time, I'm not gonna lie. It is very hard to time, but as far as jumping up there, I don't think that you can actually jump up there. Oh, you could get, wow, you could, I might be wrong there. You can use the bomb to jump up to the Slapple. Wow. So with Slapple, you're going to have to pay attention because you can get hit by the hammer if they jump time it, which is not easy to do. So I'm not really worried there. But if they also use the bomb and they do the jump and then use that and then slap, they have a good chance of hitting you. And that's a lot easier to time than the hammer. So I don't recommend Slapple. I don't recommend Dominance. You do get a speed boost, but it's not going to save you from the hammer. The bomb, probably. The rocket launcher, yeah, it's going to be a little bit harder to hit you. But if they just walk in there with a hammer, you're going to get destroyed. So now with Charge, which just got a buff. I believe the ability is shorter, but it does more knockback. I believe you can use Charge to get towards a user and hit them faster than they could react to you coming. So seeing as the user's coming, you could still hit if you time it, seeing them coming. A Charge user, you could blow them up, but Charge is going to win most of those battles due to desync. Glitch is a great deterrent glove. As soon as you see them, just pop them up in a glitch. If you do that enough, it might deter them from coming for you more, but not a counter. When you have yourself a Larry, can they be hit with Banhammer or anything? We'll see. Alright, so the Larry user's running, they're running. It will not knock the user off, it will just snap them towards the user who used the retro ability. The same thing as Thor, that kind of ability. Also, shouts out to Kryptonol, thank you for the help at the very end with going back and getting some of the clips that were corrupted. Big W's. Now Elude. I don't think you can dodge any of the abilities, just the base slap. So with the base slap, we can see that if we go over to try to hit them, even as they were flying away, yes, nothing happens. Now if we go to use the ability, they still get hit by the ability itself, no matter what ability it is. Oop. No matter what ability, they are going to be hit by it. Fish, I'm going to label this as a top counter, because you get your abilities back pretty much at the same time. You might get the retro ability before the fish, I'm not going to lie, but fish is still just a massive W. Doesn't matter what it is, even if you're using the Banhammer, if you hit them, they just flop right back into the arena, A-okay. It could be the bomb, it could be anything. They can use the ability and get back pretty quick. Right back into the arena. Common fish W. If you build an obby high enough, you can avoid all the hits, but if they're chasing you, not the best. Now, what happens with Voodoo? Some questions here we need to figure out. What we are here to figure out is if our ability will hit a Voodoo doll. Alright, both of them got hit, and... oh, no way! So it doesn't hit... uh-oh. So it does hit, but it has to hit somebody else, and then the explosion off of somebody else can hit those Voodoo dolls. That's it. It doesn't affect them just by themselves. The hammer doesn't work. The rocket launcher doesn't. No, none of it. No parts of this hit. So seeing how Voodoo cannot be hit by the abilities and only the slap, I can't recommend a duo with Voodoo and Retro. I wouldn't label it a counter. I wouldn't label it a deterrent. I wouldn't even label it as like a team glove. So with Leash, can they use their ability while leashed? Alright, so I can't change my ability. Ooh. So when you're leashed, you cannot double jump to change your ability. Whatever ability you had before getting leashed is going to be the ability that you're stuck with. So bomb can be interesting. It didn't send me up again. You just kind of explode a little bit. So leash isn't a counter considering they can sit here and spam their abilities. So boogie can be an awesome counter. I don't know if I'd give it a gold star because they can still sit outside of your boogie with hammer and hit you. But if you run up to them and get beforehand, you can absolutely take away their ability so that they can't do anything like that. But if it's too late, it's not going to work out well. You can always come over and use this. Or not. There it is. Use that and they can't do anything. They can only change their ability on the outside. If they're on the border, on the edge, and then they use their hammer, you're pretty much okay as long as you're underneath the disco ball. They could also still shoot rocket launchers at you while you're in the boogie, so that's also another thing to watch out for. So you can always be trolled no matter what you're doing. Keep that in mind with boogie. So not a perfect counter, but can work if you get to them early. So recall is going to be exactly like Adios and Thanos. It's just something that's going to save you from falling off the edge. Nothing on offense. Alrighty, so with Psycho, will the levitation save you in the double jump? Also, what happens while you're being dragged? Can they use the ability? Ooh, the levitate doesn't save, so you can still use abilities while being levitated. Psycho is definitely not a counter. Kraken's a deterrent glove. This is not a glove that you're going to use for defense. It's all offense because you have the greater reach at this certain point, but beware, they do have their bomb to get closer to you a lot faster. Keep that in mind. Now what happens with counter? I think the abilities are just going to do a ragdoll, and that's about it. We have bomb, and in that ability, it just does the ragdoll. It does nothing else. Yep, does nothing with the hammer, it just does the ragdoll. Yep, just does the ragdoll. So don't use counter, it's not gonna work on this go. Rob should be an absolute counter. Nothing can touch Rob and it's gonna go to eat you. Rob should be magnificent. Doesn't matter what they're doing, when they're in this Rob form, nothing is gonna hurt them. Not the band hammer, not the bomb, nothing. You are donezo. So rhythm can be interesting. For the first portion, it's not going to be fun as a rhythm user, but once you get into the later portions where you start getting the yellow tiles and you start having the knockback, it can kind of make it like an even fight. But counter, no. During the Rojo ability, you can't be moved except with like a pusher wall or something like that. No outside kinetic force like an explosion is going to do anything to Rojo. So during the Rojo ability, you should be good. Everything else, no. Hitman with a gun is going to keep distance and keep you a little bit more safe, especially if you have the golden gun. You can erase a retro user, but as far as a counter, I would not use it, to be honest with you. And then you could always retro a retro user. And that'll do it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Which glove was your favorite counter, and which glove surprised you the most? Let me know if I missed one down below. I'm interested to see as well. Massive shout out to all the people here that were helping around. A lot of them were goofing off, but we got to the end, and it was fun while we got there. So thank you, everybody. It was fun. Shout out to every single one of you. You see yourself from right to left, from left to right, and all the way up top. Massive W's. I hope that every single one of you have an amazing rest of your day or night whenever you do end up watching this. I'll see you in the next one. Later!